good morning, everyone. Good morning, Germany, and good afternoon, Indonesia, because today we have Aline here who will talk about her travel in Bali and Sumatra. Please switch off your microphone, please, to everyone who just arrived or just entered the room, because we want to start this program now. My name is Gana, I'm Kompasiana, and Aline is already here, Aline Dahmen from Germany. So we have also Pak Dr. Nur Hidayat from International Office UPGRIS. Thank you very much for your cooperation and your invitation to all your students here. And sure for the Dejavato for the gifts and Gigih Pustaka Mandiri for the books, because we will share books to all the participants who are lucky today. So thank you very much, and still many people coming now. So before we start our program, I would like to welcome Pak Nur Hidayat, Mas Oni, and those sponsors today, and also the participants. And it's time for Pak Nur, Dr. Nur Hidayat, to give your speech. Time is yours. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Mbak Gana. First of all, thanks God for His blessing and His mercy that we are all gathered here to participate in a very interesting webinar on wonderful Indonesia. So, firstly, I would like to thank Mbak Gana to invite us to be part of this very interesting webinar. So I think it means a lot for us, for our office, and also for our students. And then I would like to extend our greeting to firstly Oni Jamhari, Chief Executive Officer of School of Government and Policy of Bogor Regency. And my friend, I was very surprised, Mbak Gana, to know that Pak Ketut is your brother, your younger brother, your older brother. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Pak Ketut Purwantono, the director of Dejavato. Very happy to meet you again here. Yeah, last time we were also in the same webinar. And Pak Budi Mariono, a publisher. What is the name of the publishing company, Mbak Gana?
Gigih Pustaka Mandiri.
Oh, Gigih Pustaka Mandiri. Yeah, Pak Budi Mariono, publisher of Gigih Pustaka Mandiri, and then Aline Dahmen, yeah, our speaker today for our webinar. Again, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for the organizing committee, in this case, Mbak Gana, to invite our university, International Office of UPGRIS, University of UPGRIS Semarang, and also our students to join this very interesting webinar. On behalf of the university, would like to thank you, for this. And watching or reading the title of the webinar, I thought that it's going to be a very interesting webinar. And to my experience, I would like to especially address Mbak Gana and Aline, meeting people going to different places, meeting people with different culture, different custom, and different habit is always interesting. And on every meeting, encounters, there is always stories behind it, right? Yeah, it happened to me that I'm working for international office and work. I travel to different part of the world, different countries, and meeting people of different cultures, different habits, and different traditions, and it result so many stories that I happen to also write it in my simple book, sketches of meeting people and the stories behind of the meeting and the travel. So I believe this meeting will be very interesting, that the participants of this webinar may learn a lot from Aline experience later. And I would like also to thank all the participants and other participants from Kompasiana and from Koteka, and also especially my students for coming and attending and participating this meeting. Hopefully that you can learn a lot from the presentations of Aline Dahmen. Hopefully, this meeting, this webinar, as I have already explained to you, that meeting of people of different culture and different uh, traditions will result in a lot of stories that I think will culminate in our mutual respect, mutual understanding. That is, I think, what is important and what is expected from our experience of traveling, going abroad, and meeting people of different uh, cultures. That is bringing about mutual respect and mutual understanding. But Gana, I think that's all for me, speaking on behalf of the university and of my office. Hopefully, the webinar will run well and will be very beneficial for all of us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Pak Nur. Dr. Nur was my former lecturer at UPGRIS Semarang, now is University of PGRI. It's very nice to see because it's been a long time. I think the last time was 2018, 2019 I met you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So thank you very much for your kindness, your cooperation, and please never bored because we still have many Zooms ahead. So I would like to cooperate with you and your office, of course, with your students. And it's very nice always to meet all of you connected all over the world, Germany, Indonesia, America, everywhere. Okay, now it's time for us to let Aline to share about wonderful Indonesia. But before that, I would like to read everything about her that I got just yesterday. So she has just finished school at 2014 and went to New Zealand and Australia for the very first time. She stayed there for almost 1 year and did an apprenticeship in marketing and then started her own business called Nomad Soulemate in 2016. It's amazing because she's very young and she started already her own business. And then she started to offer social media marketing services as a freelancer in 2016. Then she traveled to Banda Neira. I've never been there, but she did in 2016, and as well as all over Southeast Asia. And then she traveled again to Bali in 2017. There, she met her partner, Nalom Simanjuntak, a lover who is from Sumatra Medan, from Batak. And together with Nalom, they visited Sumatra in 2019. So till today, she is a remote working entrepreneur and Bali is her second home. And today she's here because nowadays, Germany, we have so many people, religion, the people are Catholic, so they celebrate Christmas. And just like in Lebaran, Idul Fitri, everybody coming, everybody celebrating, everybody eating together. So that is why Aline came since October, November from Bali to Germany and will stay until Christmas, maybe end of the year. It's very nice to see you. And it's amazing that we meet here because we are neighbors actually. And yeah, so that's all about Aline. So I would like To start our talk show today, I would like to say hello to everyone who's just arrived, who just entered the room. Aline, how are you today?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this. It's my
Yeah,
first
nice.
so thanks for organizing. Thanks for all the students coming in here. I'm super excited. I'm also surprised because I have not thought that this is going to be so big. But apparently it is. And it's even more exciting because Indonesia is such a great place. It's such an amazing country. So many people from with different cultures and languages. And so it's even more exciting for me to be here today and share a little bit about my experiences.
Okay, so because usually Saturday is a lazy day, we're laying in the bed and then suddenly, oh, I need to wake up 10 o'clock. I have appointment with Ghana and France. So for me, sometimes it's a bit difficult because every day I need to work. So Monday to Friday and suddenly Saturday or Sunday, I need to have Zoom. So I need to wake up earlier than usual. So maybe it could be happen today with you, but I believe you will be very happy today because so many Indonesian people, they would like to know more about you. What did you do in Indonesia before? So how was the travel from Bali to Germany? Because nowadays it's pandemic, so everything is changed, and the procedure, the travel, the trip, everything. So how was that? Can you tell us about your experience?
Sure. Well, in the beginning, when it all started with the pandemic, they gave us basically I had to make the decision, am I going to stay in Bali? Am I going to go to Germany? And then I decided in April that I'm going to stay in Bali. But
Okay.
as you know, like every Christmas, I usually come home. And so I booked the flight in October.
Mhm.
And I honestly made probably more stress than needed about the whole about the entire requirements. It was difficult in the sense that there was not enough information properly laid out, like what are the requirements for me to come to Germany, what is going to be expected, do I need to make the test in Bali, but then it would run, there's only like a certain amount of time this test would be valid, and so by the time I arrive in Germany, is this still going to be valid or not? So that kind of question and difficulties I had when I was on the flight and came to Germany, the actual process of flying was easier than I expected. Yes, there's no international travel from Bali out, so I had to go through Jakarta and then home. But that wasn't the problem itself. It was more that there was a bit unclear about the requirements with the tests.
How was that 16, at least 16 hours wearing a mask? And you need to keep distance between you and the others because of this virus, for example. How was that? It was complicated, strange, or
Strange if you have this plastic thing in front of you.
okay.
That's definitely so weird. But at the same time, you get a lot of space in the airplane. At least with the Qatar Airways,
Mhm,
the airplane was already not so full, anyways. So it was
mhm.
kind of comfortable actually because I saw a good thing in it because you have a one row to yourself, or at least I had it. Um, for both flights, which is usually not happening in the flight going back home. Usually the airplane would be very cramped. So I kind of enjoyed having one row to myself and half the space and be able to sleep. But yeah, of course, with the face mask, it's annoying. And the trick there is that you eat a lot and drink a lot, so you don't always need to wear it.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I guess I wasn't so afraid of it, I guess.
What about the toilets? Because I believe it's not restricted, but not suggest to go to toilet because of the pandemic. How was that? Did you
To the
often go
toilet, you
to
mean?
toilet? Yeah, during the
Uh,
travel.
yeah, yeah. To be honest, it's like in the airplane, you could feel that, especially with flying with Qatar, they are already quite clean, and you could tell that they are really taking care of hygienic and being very clean. So that was not, I didn't feel that was a problem. And
Okay.
also maybe a bit of a travel hack. What I usually do is as soon as I go and enter the airplane, I'm probably one of the first going to the bathroom, because then then it's still clean and still still okay. So it wasn't really a
Okay,
problem. Yeah.
good. Do you speak Bahasa Indonesia, Aline?
Sedikit. No, I can only speak some words. It's honestly not enough to properly speak, but I understand a lot. So if you would you
Great.
would have a conversation, I would definitely understand what it's about. And
Okay.
I know I need to definitely learn Bahasa properly. But that's one of the downfalls, maybe as well, with living in Bali. Everyone speaks
Uh-huh.
English, and
Yeah, that's a problem.
it's so easy to not speak. But I know it's not an excuse. I have to learn.
And
And
who said you started to go to Indonesia to Banda Nera? But why?
so I was a backpacker back then, and about 19 years old, maybe. I arrived in Jakarta because I thought, coming from never been in Indonesia, I thought Jakarta is the place where I can easily go to other islands.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went there, and I was a little bit disappointed because I do not like cities so much. I'm more of
Uh-huh.
an outdoor person. I love the nature a lot, and so I didn't stay very long. But I met a girl from Sweden,
Mm.
and she just left Indonesia, and I just entered Indonesia. So I asked her, "Hey, what were your best travel adventures in Indonesia? Do you have tips?" And then she said if she would go anywhere in Indonesia again, she would go definitely back to Banda Neira, because it's been such an adventure for her. She was with the locals, she was helping them cooking, and they showed her the way of their cooking, and she said it's paradise. You have to go. And that sounded very exciting to me. And we were sitting at the table, and she directly gave me all her phone numbers from these friends that she met in Banda Neira. And she said, yeah, they're actually going, they're going there now as well again, because I think her friends left to Jakarta and then went again to Banda Neira. So I had the opportunity to maybe join them. And then we called them directly, and they say yes, we can organize you a ticket. And then 2 days later, I left Jakarta, and I was in a plane to an island I had no idea of. I had no idea what the language is. I had no idea what it looked like. Till today, I probably can't even properly point you where Bananera is located, because
Okay.
I booked the ticket and I go. And the fun thing and the adventure part there was that I didn't look up any pictures. I just trusted her recommendation, and somehow trusted people I've never met. And that was kind of exciting to me. It was an adventure, and so I left, and it truly was amazing. Just Maluku in general is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The people, the islands, it's crazy. It's very different, of course, from Germany. Um, for a 19-year-old, it was who loves nature, it was paradise, honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was my first impression of Indonesia.
Aline ini sudah menjadi backpacker sejak umur 19 tahun dan ini sudah hal yang biasa ya di Jerman karena anak-anak mudanya ini suka berkelana. Jadi setelah menyelesaikan sekolah SMA begitu ya, tidak langsung bekerja atau kuliah tapi mencari pengalaman selama 1 tahun. Salah satunya dia tempuh dengan cara menjadi backpacker ke Indonesia. Nah, waktu dia datang ke Jakarta ini dia bilang karena di Jakarta kita bisa terbang ke pulau-pulau mana saja dengan lebih mudah dan dia sebenarnya nggak tahu acaranya waktu itu mau kemana dan dia bertemu dengan seorang backpacker asal Swedia yang mau kembali ke negaranya dan dia bercerita banyak tentang Banda Neira. Nah teman-teman nih yang mungkin yang belum tahu Banda Neira sebelah mana ya? Dia sendiri sudah tahu Pak, tapi kita sendiri orang Indonesia belum tahu ya. Ternyata Banda Neira ini adalah sebuah pulau kecil yang ada di Kepulauan Maluku Utara. Nah, ternyata setelah ini dia merasa bahwa Indonesia itu indah sekali, jadi dia melanjutkan perjalanannya dari Banda Neira ke pulau-pulau yang lain. Aline, and then after Banda Neira, which island is the next? Was the next? Yeah, I think Bali first, right?
Yes. So well, I left Bandanera again. I went home because I actually got dengue, and then I mean, I made a quick stop in Bali for the hospital, but then I left Indonesia and I came again next year.
I made many exhibition about Indonesia, and people always think like Indonesia is Bali or Indonesia is only Bali. But after you were there, you say that, oh, many islands, Indonesia is not only Bali. But what is actually the special things from Bali that make you so fall in love that you already like 5 years now staying there?
Mm. Yeah, so Bali is definitely a place where I, in the beginning, didn't want to go to because I thought it's too touristy. But I changed my mind on this, obviously, because now I live there. Um,
Okay.
I mean, Bali has incredible culture. The people who live there, they're so friendly, and the culture is very interesting.
Mhm.
As well, obviously I fell in love with Nalom, who I met in Bali. Love has definitely been a reason for me, but also for my work. So, for example, I'm a remote worker, and the reason I went there in the first place was a friend asking me if I join her, because it's quite a digital nomad hub.
Mhm.
A lot of remote workers there, people who are as well young, have their business. And I thought in Germany, I never had people around me who were like-minded. 5 years ago, there was not such a thing like digital nomad so much. And in Bali, it's always been a big place for people to come to who started their business. So I was inspired by that as well. And then I think 6 months or 7 months living in Bali, I then met Nalom, and yeah, and ever since I'm staying in Bali.
Jadi teman-teman, kalau di Jerman itu Bali itu paling terkenal daripada Indonesianya. Jadi mereka mengira bahkan Bali itu negara sendiri ya, padahal Bali adalah bagian pulau dari Indonesia. Nah itu sebenarnya dari awal dia bilang dia tuh sebenarnya nggak seneng ke Bali karena terlalu turistik ya, terlalu banyak turis, terlalu banyak orang dan mungkin lebih komersil ya dibandingkan dengan Banda Neira misalnya, pulau yang pertama kali dia jejaki ketika mengelana di Indonesia. Nah, tapi setelah 7 bulan kemudian bertemu dengan Nalom, ini ada seorang laki-laki dari Sumatera, dari Batak, yang membuatnya jatuh cinta. Akhirnya dia merasa, kayaknya enakan deh di Bali aja tinggalnya gitu ya. Dan ternyata di sini dia tidak hanya karena si boyfriendnya ini, tetapi juga karena dia melakukan bisnis dengan beberapa traveler yang ada di Bali dan mereka ini bukan orang Indonesia. Kita akan tahu nanti apa bisnisnya. Aline, your boyfriend is from Batak, Sumatra, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And later you said you visited Sumatra, I think 2017 or 19, somewhere like that. So
Hmm.
how was that to travel? So from Bali to Sumatra, or this was from Germany to Sumatra?
We traveled from Bali to Sumatra. We
Ah,
met
okay.
his mama in the Inang, and also his friends, and we spent some time in Medan. But also both of us, he is a big nature lover. He loves camping. He has a camping business in Bali, and also,
Ah, okay.
so it was very obvious for us that we wanted to go to the first place where he went camping with his friends, and that was in Tangkahan in Sumatra in the jungle. And so we we went all over the north. We went to Lake Toba. Um, so very beautiful area in North Sumatra. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the difference between Banda Nera, Bali, and Sumatra? The beauty, I think they are all different one another, right?
Okay, so I feel like in Bali, it's very easy for Westerners as well as for anyone, I think, to come to and enjoy. And there are people there very focused on hospitality. They love to invite you. They're so welcoming, and the nature in Bali is as well stunning. It's a lot of waterfalls, Amet, which is where you can see my favorite volcano, Mount Agung, and so Bali has a lot to offer, that's for sure. Where you feel the island vibes, but if you go to this, you still can go to like the south and have great waves. I'm not a surfer, but I know a lot of surfer friends who enjoy Bali as a surf spot. And then there is North Sumatra, where the people, of course, they're a bit different. They're, I would say, they're a little bit more frank. They're louder with their speaking. They are very, very welcoming, so friendly, and also a lot of fun. And I feel like in Sumatra, because it's such a big island, you don't have this island feeling actually, or I didn't have it. But you have the jungle, the original jungle. When you go there, you set one foot in another, and you always see something different. It's crazy how many animals you see in the Sumatra jungle. Not just like monkeys, different monkeys, but also if you just see the tiny, like tiny little things that we had a great guide who pointed out many things, birds, different leaves, and bugs, and things that I wouldn't have seen. Probably, I probably would have just passed by. So it was good we had a guide. Um, yeah, so I think the jungle is again a bit thicker and more original, I guess, than in Bali, for example. You still have the tiger, so we would sleep in the jungle as well. So I was afraid sleeping in the jungle. Nalam wasn't, but I was afraid. What if a tiger is coming and eat us? So um, yeah, so that is Sumatra, and in Sumatra you have a lot of food. The food culture there is really really spicy in the north, and you have so many different varieties. I think because of the Chinese influence as well. And then you have Bandanera. Bandanera is really tiny. It's small, really small islands. Like some of them, there's only one palm tree or maybe two palm trees on it, and then a little island around it, you know. So I think when I came to Bandanera, the first thing I thought was, is this still Earth? Am I still on the planet Earth? Because it was so absurd. We came there with a huge ship for, I think, 5,000 passengers. It was a big ship. And then there was this tiny little islands around us. I thought the ship is maybe not even able to pass them. So tiny were there, and there you have all the spices. And I got introduced to a big adventure because nobody could speak English so well. I was surprised many could speak German because I think it has a Dutch influence.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you have this different cultures, and in Bandanera, many people are fishermen because obviously they eat fish all the time, and that's their food. And so I got taught how to make fish, and I think it's again a different feeling. They have a lot of spices, nutmegs come from Bandanera as well. And so I called it the Pearl of Earth because it's stunning. It's just like you see it in a picture, in a postcard.
Jadi untuk membedakan pengalamannya berada di pulau-pulau yang sudah dikunjungi, yakni Bandanera, Bali, dan Sumatera, ternyata masing-masing punya kelebihan dan kekhasannya sendiri-sendiri ya, yang mungkin membedakan perasaannya ketika berada di daerah tersebut. Misalnya aja di Bandanera, saya aja belum pernah bayangin ke Bandanera bagian mana begitu ya, di sana bagaimana. Nah, dia cerita bahwa ternyata di sana itu pulaunya kecil banget dan ada kapal tuh, kapalnya gede ya untuk 5.000 orang. Dia bilang, wah ini apa bisa masuk semua orang di dalam pulau kecil begitu ya. Dan dia sangat menyukai karena orang-orang Bandanera sangat ramah sekali dan mereka ini punya makanan yang sangat spicy, jadi berbumbunya tuh kencang banget karena dibandingkan dengan Jerman tuh bumbunya paling cuman merica sama garam gitu ya. Kemudian di Bali dia bilang banyak tawaran wisatanya. Apa aja ada, mau yang pasir, mau ada yang pulau, mau ada yang temple, mau ada yang tarian, semua ada di situ. Tetapi tetap aja beda karena mungkin di Sumatera itu lebih natural begitu ya, alamnya, orangnya. Jadi nggak begitu turistik seperti di Bali. Nah, di Sumatera ini, terutama di Sumatera Utara, dia udah pernah melihat orang utan dan melihat hutannya, camping di sana bersama si pacar dan teman-teman. Kemudian dia mengatakan bahwa orang-orang Sumatera itu beda ya, orangnya lebih frank gitu ya. Kemudian bicaranya kenceng. Kemudian mereka ini juga punya makanan yang sangat berbumbu ya. Kalau masakan Padang biasanya pasti kalian udah tahu ya masakannya seperti itu. Ini ada yang lebih pedas lagi. Kemudian ada juga plantasi atau tempat-tempat perkebunan di mana dia bisa jalan-jalan dan jadi tahu oh, ternyata produk-produk yang ada di Jerman tuh ambilnya dari sini gitu ya. You said you will come back to Bali soon after Christmas, right? When will be your travel, your next trip?
In April, I will come back to Bali.
You said you have your own business, right? The Nomad Soulmates. What is this?
Nomad Soulmates is a community of single remote workers who are looking for someone who's like-minded, so someone who's as well able to travel and to work remotely and go on adventures together. Yeah, so I started a community of singles about 5 years ago.
Okay. Okay, but how can you work? Because then you will stay, you stayed already since October until April 2021. So how can manage your business from here? Is that okay or?
Yeah. So since it's becoming also, it's an online community, and it's we sometimes have meetings also offline, but definitely also have speed dating events online. So we can organize ourselves online already from the beginning. So traveling and bringing my work with me has never been a problem. I just needed to have Wi-Fi. That is sometimes challenging if you travel and you not always have Wi-Fi, of course. But other than that, I can just take it with me, and so that's easily manageable. Yeah.
Si Aline ini punya bisnis yang namanya Nomad Soulmate. Ini adalah sebuah platform di mana kita bisa bekerja, bisa travel, dan bisa juga untuk mengadakan petualangan bersama-sama, tetapi dengan catatan semuanya single ya. Kemudian ia sudah memulai bisnisnya sejak tahun 2015. Nah, ini dia akan tinggal di Jerman sampai dengan April 2021. Karena ini platformnya adalah online, jadi dia bisa kerjain di mana aja asal ada internet dan tentu saja ada planning seperti meeting dan lain sebagainya. You wear ulos like what I have now. I'm wearing now ulos. So how can you see this? This is different like in Germany, right? And you see also already in Bandanera is different, and then Bali is a little bit glitzeric, bling bling. And then this is from Sumatra, and I'm from Java. Of course, it will be different. How do you see it?
So first of all, this is, I think, one of my favorite traditions in Batak, because I don't know, it's just such a very beautiful fabric, and something that is as well, like this one is, for example, handmade, and it's very special to me because these days not everything is first of all handmade, but also those traditions, some of them are very important to Indonesians. And I feel like this is such a beautiful way of giving a gift. This has been a gift from my parents, it's not mine, from Nanam's mother to my parents. And it's so original, and so it's telling a story almost, and so it's something that I've been first introduced at a Batak wedding from Nanam's sister, and everyone who was married was, for example, wearing this, and I thought this is such a beautiful way of like having this, and it also looks good. I think it really does. It's not a very German thing, of course, but I think it's a bit sad. Germany doesn't has, yeah, we have the Trachten, which you can see the Lederhosen and the usually, but it's not something that would, especially the young people, still wear every, like to big ceremonies or something. We don't usually have something that we can wear, and Sumatra does, and Indonesia in general. Every culture has a different clothing style and different reasons why they wear it, and so I think it's very interesting, and I think the culture itself, it should keep, yeah, people should still keep do it.
Dia ini sudah di beberapa pulau kan, di Banda Nera, di Bali dan Sumatera. Dia bilang ini sangat bagus, apalagi karena ini dibuat dengan tangan, jadi handmade ya. Ini nilainya juga pasti sangat tinggi karena dibuat dengan cinta, jadi bukan dengan mesin ya. Dengan tangan itu pasti butuh waktu yang sangat panjang dan tentu saja kesabaran. Nah, dibandingkan dengan di Jerman mungkin akan agak berbeda ya, karena kain-kainnya tidak seperti di tempat kita yang bagus-bagus begini. Kemudian ini juga seperti yang dialami ketika di Sumatera adalah sebuah perasaan yang sangat menyenangkan ketika mendapatkan hadiah ketika ada di sebuah pernikahan dan mendapatkan kain semua kemudian dipakai secara bersama-sama. Itu sebuah perasaan yang membuncah yang dialami oleh si Aline ini. So Aline, before we go to the question, what do you think about the motto "Wonderful Indonesia"? Do you agree for that?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I think it's. I mean, when I first saw the logo that we're gonna actually have this, you know, and I told you, oh, I know "Wonderful Indonesia," and yes, of course, it absolutely fits because Indonesia is very has so many, again, with the cultures, is so surprising, and in so many different ways, it can so much. And because of that, it's wonderful. So of course, I think it fits very well.
Dia sangat setuju sekali dengan moto Indonesia, Wonderful Indonesia, meskipun dia baru di 3 pulau dan kita punya 17.000 pulau dari Sabang sampai dengan Merauke. Ya, dan thank you to Clara. Clara said hi to Aline. She's on the way somewhere, I don't know. But first of all, I would like to say hello to Lita Chan Lai because it's been like maybe 30 minutes. Raise hand up.
Hai Lita.
Halo.
Apa kabar? Halo.
Baik.
So,
terus
please,
Mbak mau nanya dong, Mbak.
Yeah, please.
Mbak Aline ini pernah ke Banda Neira, wisatanya apa aja di sana? Maksudnya kan selain pulau kan dia ada misalkan ada sejarah atau wisata peninggalan yang lama-lama, itu ada nggak?
Okay. Okay, terima kasih. She asked you about what did you see in Banda Neira because it's very small. What did you see there? Church, temple, I don't know, sea or whatever. You can tell us.
The first thing I saw in Banda Neira was, so you have to imagine we drive with the big ship through the little islands. And then it was kind of smoky because in the morning still the morning dust, you couldn't see very far. And then the first thing I saw was a volcano coming out of the water, very steep in front of us. And I was just right there. And that was the first thing I saw in Banda Neira. It's been extremely dramatic this morning because of that, but it's so beautiful. And you have in Banda Neira, you also see I went to little islands as well where you can see the jungle. We did a little bit of a jungle trekking as well. The chief of the island, he was coming and visiting me because the whole island knew, oh, someone Western is visiting us. It's very rare for them if someone from a different country comes. So the whole village knew I'm here. And so the chief officer, he came and he asked me if I want to join him. He shows me around the island. And so I say, yes, of course. And then he showed me like trees that, what do you call it? Zimt. You know what zimt is in English? Or in Bahasa? Yeah, different type of spices that I
Kayu
only
manis,
know
kayu
from,
manis.
yeah, but like different spices you have in Banda Neira a lot. And my hostel where I stayed, you could jump from the hostel, you could jump into the water and be like in
Cinnamon.
an aquarium. It's like an aquarium. You have so many colorful fishes. And Ghana, I said it in the beginning, I was also in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and Bandanera topped it. It was much, much nicer than the Great Barrier Reef in Australia that everyone is talking about. Indonesia is much, much nicer, in my opinion. The corals are still there, the fishes are still beautiful. And so that's, I think, the first impression I have from Bandanera. I hope that answers your question.
Oke, jadi Mbak Lita ya, dia pergi ke sebuah pulau yang lebih kecil lagi, kemudian dia jalan-jalan, diajak melihat perkebunan simt atau cinnamon dan kayu
Cinnamon,
manis ya, cinnamon, kayu manis, dan ini merupakan produk lokal di sana. Setelah itu dia pernah melihat gunung di atas air, namanya gunung apa ya? Kemudian naik kapal dengan 5.000 orang itu sebuah perasaan yang beda ya. Ini pulaunya kecil tapi kapalnya gede dengan banyak orang. Ini muat enggak gitu ya. Kemudian sepertinya hanya itu aja. Dia tidak menyebutkan tempat-tempat seperti gereja atau apa sih tempat-tempat bangunan begitu ya. Did you also see the old buildings in Bananera, you know, from Dutch centuries or somehow like that?
yes,
Because we
yes,
did colorful.
some of them. So we went to, I got picked up actually by a lady
Mhm.
who also could speak German. Again, I was so
Ah,
surprised that so many
nice.
people could speak at least a little bit German. And she showed me around, not in Bananera, but in Ambon, near Ambon.
Ambon. Mhm.
Because you had to, yeah, first I went to Ambon and then to Bananera. So in Ambon, she showed me like ruins as well from the Dutch and some places like schools as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Jadi Mbak Lita dia pernah melihat bangunan-bangunan peninggalan zaman Belanda di Banda Neira. Pasti menarik ya kalau di Semarang misalnya ada kota lama begitu ya, pasti di sana juga ada karena Belanda pun pernah ke sana. Oke, now we go to Dedi Huang. Terima kasih Mbak Lita. Ke Mas Dedi Huang, the question is, what do you think about foreigners who were or who are begging around to support him traveling around Indonesia? I think a long time ago we had a big news about it in Bali that some foreigners, they were bankrupt, so pleite, and then they beg around to leave and to
Mm.
travel. So what is your opinion about that?
Yeah, luckily I've never met someone who's begging for money in a different country. I mean, I can always understand when you get as a backpacker bankrupt, but then I think the right way to purchase is to go home, find work, because I feel like obviously I'm against, and I don't think that's a good way to go to a foreign country where also people struggle maybe with money and then ask as a backpacker for money. I feel like everyone is responsible of their own success, is responsible for their own life, and therefore their own happiness. And I do not believe that begging in a different country as a backpacker is appropriate. So I feel like, yeah, it's just not appropriate. It's a much better approach to think, okay, what is not working? If you're running out of money, how can I generate money in a healthy way? Do I need to go home? Do I need to start remote work? You know, there's solutions, but begging is not the first thing you should do in a different country that is where you are not in your own support system. Like if I'm from Germany, if something would go wrong, I could come back to Germany and I could see, okay, what does, for example, my government offer me as a support system? How can my family help me? I think that's the way to go.
Mas Dedi ya, dia tidak pernah melihat di Bali kejadian seperti itu meskipun dia 5 tahun tinggal di Bali ya. Jadi dia merasa bahwa kalau ada orang seperti itu berarti tidak bertanggung jawab ya. Dan sebagai backpack traveler atau sebagai turis atau sebagai orang yang bekerja di Bali misalnya, jika mengalami kebangkrutan sebaiknya kembali ke negaranya atau bekerja mencari pekerjaan yang bisa dikerjakan untuk menutupi kebutuhannya. Dan dia juga merasa bahwa apa yang terjadi di media massa diberitakan bahwa banyak backpacker ini meminta-minta, itu sebenarnya tidak semestinya terjadi. Okay, let's go to Dwi Clarasari. Hi, Aline. What are the hardest thing being a long-term traveler or as a nomad?
I think, well, I don't actually, for me, it's not hard because it's my passion. I love to be abroad. I love to be outside of Germany and to see different cultures. So I don't think I am now currently a nomad. So because I mostly stay in Bali or mostly stay in Germany at this time. But I think the hardest probably thing when like traveling every month, then I would say sometimes it becomes exhausting to pack your things all the time and unpack them.
Okay.
Or, but these are tiny things for me. That's a little bit, or you meet new people all the time. So you also need to retell your story every time you meet new people.
Just make recording for that.
And it's not something that annoys me or is like hard. It's just one thing that could potentially, in the long run, be a little bit superficial because it's harder to make deep, meaningful relationships, right? So now I'm in Bali and I have probably more the opportunity to actually meet locals and get to know them and be their friends for longer. Because otherwise, usually as a nomad, I would again leave after a month and then not see them again. It's a bit of a different lifestyle, but yeah.
Ya, sebenarnya tidak ada kesulitan ya Mbak Clara bahwa sebagai long term traveler ini selama di Bali 5 tahun dan beberapa pulau yang lainnya, yang dia rasakan adalah ketika dia harus pindah-pindah tiap bulannya, misalnya bulan ini ke Bali, bulan depan ke Sumatera, ataupun lagi kemana lagi. Nah ini kan tasnya ini kan harus dibongkar pasang ya, masuk lagi, keluar lagi, masuk lagi, keluar lagi. Jadi kalau mungkin setahun sekali seperti kita jalan-jalan mungkin nggak apa-apa. Kalau setiap bulan, wah ini capek kali ya. Nah kemudian yang kedua adalah bahwa dia sering bertemu dengan banyak orang. Nah, karena bertemu dengan banyak orang ini, otomatis dia harus mengulang ceritanya dari awal, padahal udah diceritain sama orang yang sebelumnya begitu. Makanya saya sarankan dia mending dipencet recording, terus nanti dia tinggal dimainkan begitu ya, tinggal orang mendengar.